But
that doesn't change your ability to take the train and hang out with us.
it doesn't.
What he could also do? Take a long walk.
I could take a very long walk to get there. It's like 80 miles, I think, from Philly to New York. So
they walked longer than that.
Yeah. How long did they walk in the movie? We should know.
I think it's like 300 miles
some miles, 6
That's
days.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's 5 days. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Welcome back to the Interior Analysis Podcast. I am your host for this episode, Jelani T. Kelly.
I'm Evan Westman.
And I'm Angel Michele.
And today we are discussing the long anticipated. I don't know if anybody was hyped for this movie. Maybe
I thought you forgot the title for a second.
Nope.
I was like, "This is
what
your
are we
idea.
doing today, guys?"
This whole operation is your idea.
Was that an impression of me?
No, that was just the dumb kid in your math class.
Evan,
everyone knew.
Evan, you can't do impressions of black people. Please.
You can't do impressions of black people ever.
Okay. Well, I think I have a pretty good track record of not doing that on this show.
Directed by Francis Lawrence. Writers J.T. Molnar and Stephen King, who wrote, this is his novel. It's an adaptation of his novel, also of the same title, The Long Walk. Starring Cooper Hoffman as Ray Garrity, David Johnson as Peter McVries, Mark Hamill as the greatest character in the movie, and Judy Greer as Garrity's mom. There's a bunch of other actors. I could go down the list. Everybody does a great job in this movie. I really don't think there is a single weak actor in this film. Budget of $20 million. Grossed worldwide $63 million. You love to see it. Tripled its money. Good. I watched this 2.5 times. Once on the plane to San Diego last Christmas, and I think I texted you guys when I landed. I was like, we got to do this. A halftime on the way back from San Diego through my brother's TV. I just kept looking at him and his TV, his plane TV, to see his reaction because I told him to watch it. And a second time fully for this episode. It's one of those social experiment movies. I didn't realize it was going to be as graphic as it was, but I love that it was, especially with the first death of Curly. I never saw a trailer or anything for this, so I was just like, this looks like it's supposed to be a good movie. I looked at the poster, I saw the title, read the synopsis, and I was like, I'll give it a shot. I mean, I have 6 hours, so why not? What is your experiences with this movie? Also, I never read the book. I don't know if either of you have read the book.
I haven't read the book, but I did like this movie. I've been really into Stephen King adaptations the last few years. I didn't know much about the book going in. For some reason, I always mix it up with The Running Man because I haven't read either book and I didn't know what either one was about. I still don't really know what The Running Man's about, but I guess I will.
The Long Man and The Running Walk.
Well, and they also came out within like 2 months of each other, so...
The movies? Yeah, no, they did. I don't know what it was. Yeah, they both seem cool, and Long Walk is very good. I really did enjoy this movie. I was pleasantly surprised. Like, I knew you liked it, Jelani, and I think we have a similar taste in movies, but like I was pleasantly surprised by how well they handled a lot of the themes in this. I also, when I was going in, I did not know that Mark Hamill was going to be in it, and the second I realized it was him, I was so excited.
I thought that was Jack Nicholson like the whole time until the end, and I was like, it can't be him though, because he's too old for this. But
you thought it was Jack Nicholson?
I don't know. It seemed like he had the same look. I think he has like the same facial hair.
Do
he's doing kind of a gruff voice.
Old white guys look alike to you, Evan?
I mean, I guess those two do. I knew it wasn't him, but
I guess like... Jack Nicholson has also looked like Jack Nicholson forever, and Mark Hamill has only looked like Mark Hamill does now for like half of his career.
And most of his stuff post Star Wars has been voice acting. Like, I think
that's very true.
Every time I watch the first Kingsman, I forget that it's him because he doesn't look anything like Luke Skywalker at that point.
He's in that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the
yes, exactly.
Right?
I forgot. I haven't seen that movie. I saw that movie once a while back. I don't remember a lot of it.
I've seen it a bunch of times, and I feel like I forget every single time that it's Mark Hamill.
I gotta watch it again now.
Just watch the church scene. That scene is a work of art.
Yeah. You know what's crazy too? So as we're recording this, guys, it is Cinco de Mayo. But more importantly, it means that yesterday. But it also means that yesterday was Star Wars Day. So last night I watched Empire.
with our friend Taylor D. Adams. I was not able to make that, but yeah.
Yeah. No, it was such a good time, honestly. It was most of the chat was me just sending gifs of the scenes as they were happening, and he never got upset at me once, and I really appreciated that. But watching like Mark Hamill in that role, and like also watching him in this role recently for this podcast was like super interesting because they're completely different characters. And if you really think about it, like Mark Hamill has played probably more villains than he has heroes, but he's also Luke Skywalker. So you think about Luke Skywalker with him, but then every other one you think of,
like the most iconic Joker voice, arguably.
You always think of the Joker. You think of this. He even kind of played the Joker in live action on The Flash. It wasn't the Joker; it was a different villain, but like very Joker-esque. I enjoyed him.
That's the stuff. You got Sack. Yeah. He kept talking about their sacks, man.
He really did. Yeah. And I think it's interesting that like they keep talking about this thing throughout the film where they're like, if you insult the Long Walk or the government, they're going to shoot you. But he just keeps encouraging it the entire time, I guess. Hilarious. Which is kind of crazy because like there are cameras there and like showing that, but I guess he appreciates it so much that like he doesn't care. Maybe it's that sheer like hubris that he has that like nothing is going to break the system that they're a part of, which I want to get into more.
He's got sack too
later on. Exactly. Yeah. I think that was it. He's got too much sack, and he doesn't think that anyone will break the sack. I'm losing the metaphor. Anyway, other actors are also in this film, guys. Cooper Hoffman is really good. I like him. The only other thing I've really seen him in is Licorice Pizza, which is a very strange film.
Yeah, he hasn't done a lot else, I don't think.
No, but he's Philip Seymour Hoffman's son, who was also in the Hunger Games movies. Yeah. Wait, you just found that out?
Yeah, just like, I don't remember how, but it's sometime doing like preparation for this episode, and I was like, oh, I see it a little bit. Even though Jesse Plemons looks more like he should be Philip Seymour Hoffman's kid.
But, I know, right? Like a little bit. I would have loved if Jesse Plemons was in this movie.
He'd be so funny. Even if just as one of the soldiers. I know he'd just be weird, and I love it. He's so funny.
No, he really would.
Someday we'll have to do Civil War, but...
Oh, yeah, we haven't done that yet, have we?
That's on the list,
just for Jesse Plemons. Like, I would...
For a lot of things.
We also have to do Game Night for Jesse Plemons. Have you guys seen Game Night?
Oh, my gosh, yes.
Game Night is so good.
How can Jesse that Plemons is the best be character. Profitable for Frito-Lay?
I saw that movie when MoviePass was out when I was in college.
Oh my god,
I probably saw it. Like I saw it 2 or 3 times in the theater. So yeah, Cooper Hoffman's really good. David Johnson is great. I saw him in Alien Romulus. He's the best character in the movie. Pete, he's the best. He's 3-dimensional. He's just super positive throughout. You learn a little bit about his backstory as he goes through. I like also that they talk about it a little. They hint at him being gay.
Did they?
And I
missed that.
I think they.
I missed that too.
I think they do. We can cut that out if I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure they do.
I don't think that's a bad thing to miss. Yeah, I don't think that's a bad thing to miss.
I just have to go back and like watch it again with that in mind. I think it could be one of those things where you can read it that way. I like reading. Yeah. Like I think there's a number of characters that you can do that with, but I did not think that when watching.
No, I just feel like he specifically is hinting to Cooper Hoffman's character, Ray. He specifically hints to him. It's not even like their relationship together. It's just like he's hinting. I think Ray's like, "Do you have a girl?" And he's like, "No," and he like smiles at him, something like that. I feel like I'm not the only one who thinks this, but we can always cut
But it's all
too.
Subtext, probably.
I think it's all subtext. Yeah. I could be wrong. One thing I did really like, the world building here is actually really cool. I heard a lot of people talk about how like we don't know a lot about the world, but I think that's really great because we learn about the little things very gradually. They give us enough information at the beginning. We learn there's a war, that's why the Long Walk exists. Like we get the basic information at the very beginning. I think literally just through text on a screen, which is fine. Plenty of movies do it. But we also see like the world gradually has kind of gradually decayed around them as they go, and it gets worse the longer on the walk they go as their conditions get worse also. It obviously gives crazy Hunger Games vibes because the director directed most of the Hunger Games movies.
Oh.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah. I saw a quote from him that someone was like, so they're a little similar, and he was like, Yeah, I kind of realized I only like making movies about one kind of thing, just teenagers in fight to the death situations.
Yeah, and I'm going to reference the Hunger Games more during my topic. I think that the part that I like the most about this too is how like the characters still feel so wholesome and friendly with each other even through all of this crazy stuff. I think it makes the brutal moments stand out more, but also it keeps them from being too overwhelming. So I think that without that balance, the movie would not have worked. So yeah, those are my initials.
To add on to your world building thing, I was really glad that we didn't get any moments showing the broadcast or like had some subplot
To like
in.
break us out of it.
Yeah, we had the couple of flashbacks. That was the most of it, but I just feel like we've seen that before. It's been done, and I don't think it would have added anything.
And
So
it was
I
in
was happy with that.
context. Like he fell asleep. He was dreaming.
Yeah, that too. And you want some level, like that's also backstory. That's not like I'm talking more specifically about like showing what like the audience at home watching the reality show version is seeing. Hunger Games even doesn't do that very much, but that's partly because the book is first person. I don't know whether this is. I feel like it probably is. I get
I
that
think the
sense.
movies do more of that with the whole reality show, like the PR element of it.
It's
Like they
still
really
pretty
emphasize
minimal,
that.
as I recall. It's a bigger element, but they aren't like cutting away to it as much. But in that one too, like there's the game makers are like throwing in curveballs to the participants in a way that they're not in this. The game is so simple here. There's no twist. It's just
Oh, I
walk
mixed
till
up
you
what you were
drop.
saying. I thought you meant Hunger Games didn't do it as much, but I'm like, no, that it did it way more than this did. But
Mhm.
I agree with you. I think is what's happening.
This was a stupid note, but none of these idiots wore sneakers or did any stretches, which I just like not deal
Yeah,
breaking, but I felt the need to call it out. Be a
I think
little smarter about that.
I'd die before the end of the first day
Mm.
because I have flat feet. So
If you wear the right sneakers, that's not a problem.
no,
but none of them did.
Yes, I worked in a sneaker store for a summer. I had to learn a decent amount about it, and we could find you the right sneakers.
are you
They
telling
exist.
a flat-footed person what their experience should be, Evan?
I am telling you that the world is more accessible than you might think it is.
Are you being
Also,
ableist right now? No, let me not go that far.
only
Cut
if
that.
being flat-footed is a disability,
No.
which I don't think it is.
Actually, a few
Um,
years ago, you couldn't be accepted into the army if you had flat feet.
oh, really?
No.
Okay.
Or drafted. I think it was drafted.
I won't get into this. There are differences in like the shoes you should wear based on like your arch height, but I never had heard of it as like it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Nah,
It's just a
it's
thing to know when you're
my.
getting shoes.
I have no arch to the point where you know how you pour pancakes in a pan, like
Yeah.
when the batter's thick enough and it just layers and spreads out. That's what my foot looks like when I step.
Hmm. Yeah.
It spreads out like a pancake.
I could recommend certain shoes for that.
Hmm.
You were supposed to, and you never did.
I think, well, okay, my information's all out of date too because I was working there in like 2018.
And now I didn't survive past the first day because of you.
Yeah. I was curious though how long you guys thought you could go. And
No, this is
you're
the
saying
first
first
day.
day.
Oh yeah,
Angel, what do you
I'm out
think?
of there.
I don't know because here's the thing. I walk a lot. Like I'm not even kidding you. Part of the reason I was a little late, I walk 2.5 miles home every night. So like I walk all the time. But this is a whole other thing. I walk every year at Comic Con a lot. I walk at Ren Fair. Like I walk a lot, but to do like whatever it was, like 300 miles, that seems like so much. I would definitely like start to lose my shit, especially as it got later on and like I had to go to the bathroom and like I uh
You
I
saw what
wanted
they
to
did.
just like drink some water. Like eventually I think I would just start to go crazy. I don't know.
Um,
Maybe like I could maybe do like a day and a half and then I think I'd drop.
The sleep would get me.
Yeah, exactly, the sleep.
I walked one time for 3.5 hours straight, and my lower back was messed up for the next 2 days.
Mhm.
So I'm cooked.
I think the sleep would do me in because I also walk a lot. Philly is a very walkable city, thankfully.
Yeah,
And
I've heard.
I was remembering I had a situation a couple years ago. I'll try to keep the story short so we can get into the topics, but this was like in my head the whole time. So a couple years ago, I went up to my parents for Father's Day, and my brother was like, "Hey, me and a couple friends are going to go do a hike up in New Hampshire. Do you want to join us?" And I was like, "All right, cool." He says 10 miles. It's going to be up some mountains, and I was like, "Okay, I've done 10-mile runs before. I walk a lot. I should be okay. It'll be a long day, but we can do this." I did not realize what mountain hiking is like. Like, I've done elevation. This was a completely different thing.
Well, yeah.
And we all had like big packs of food and tents and clothes and whatever on our backs. I had to tap out. I think it was like 7 miles in, and we were gonna like camp overnight, and we had a few miles left to get to our spot, and we were going up this huge incline, and I had been like the weak link for most of the day, but I was just like, I need to stop here. Like, if I keep going, I'm pretty sure my body's just gonna give out and I'm gonna collapse. And there were like no roads. It would have been basically impossible to like just get out of there. Like, we still, the shortest
Get
way
Out
out
is a
was like,
different movie.
yes, it is. But it was like 4 miles to the next thing. So I was just keeping that in my head because I was like, okay, I at least know what it feels like to hit that limit. I don't know what that would look like on a regular road. I'd probably drop in the middle somewhere. Like,
Okay.
I think I'd maybe, I could see myself getting to like 25th out of
I was
50.
gonna say you might get cooked on that hill where they lost a lot of
Oh yeah.
the
No,
kids during that night
I'm
scene.
good at running up regular hills. That's a like this kind of mountain hiking we were doing is like way we were basically climbing half the time. That it's not that kind of hill. Like, that's what I was
Hmm.
expecting it to be. Was like that kind of incline.
But no.
Um, yeah, cross country running, I always did a little better on hills than most people. The flat parts was where everyone else
Did you
passed
roll
me.
down the hill when you were done? You're like, I have to go home, guys, and then you just
No,
rolled down the. Okay, that's
Well, what
just good enough.
countries did you visit?
southern Rhode Island mostly.
Oh,
That's not a country.
it should be. You could just let it float away. I'm kidding. I love Rhode Island. Jelani, do you want to go first?
Let's start with yours, go into mine, and with Evans, and then we'll go back to the deeper meanings one.
Okay, sounds good. This is where I reveal I don't have a topic. No, I'm kidding. My topic, I kind of touched on a little bit already. Why you would make friends in a life or death scenario. So the premise of the movie, for those who don't know, which you should if you're listening to this episode, only one of them is going to make it to the end. If you stop, they shoot you, and then you die, and it's over. And then after, however many miles, the last person out of 50 wins. They get untold riches and money and stuff like that. But the thing we see from the very beginning of the movie is that these characters like talking to each other, starting to get to know each other, and there's only a couple of exceptions where they clearly don't want to form attachments. But
Stebbins, Collie,
yeah, I'm not
and
going to remember most of
Barkovich.
the names. I know there's like the big guy that everybody thinks is like super athletic. He doesn't want to.
Stebbins.
Yeah, Stebbins. Yeah. He's going to be important later. Which I want to talk about him a little bit. He's really winds up being a great character. A lot of them, it doesn't seem to fully hit them at the beginning, and I think maybe that's why they start to form bonds. Because if you think about it, all these are kids. They're all like, they're all. I think they don't
I
tell
think
us how
they're supposed to be 18 at least.
they're all supposed to be, but I think they're all like 18, like exactly 18, pretty much. Like none of them are really any older. I kind of assumed 18 to 19 because they make a big deal about that one kid who's definitely like 16, who's the first to
Curly.
go. I think his name is Curly. Yeah, he's like the first to go. But they make a big deal about that. But other than that, like most of them are like they're young, and I think it adds to like the naivete of like they don't really understand what they're getting into until they get there. So they're just kind of like it's normal. They're just kind of walking and it seems nice. I think it's sort of a protection mechanism where they're like blocking out the reality of their situation. And I think that kind of forming those bonds kind of helps. I feel like you don't see that element as much as you should in movies like this. Like you'll get elements like people that are like put into let's say like a fighting pit together and they're forming bonds that way even though they're being told to kill each other, but a lot of the time that is them forming bonds with the hope that they will earn their freedom or they'll escape somehow. This is a case where they know full well that only one of them is walking out. Um,
Sure.
Oh,
yeah. I did the Evan thing. That's great.
join me. Be an accidental punist.
So one of the closest examples is again going back to the Hunger Games. Only one person's going to survive. The closest we really see with that is in the career tributes, which for those who don't know are the sort of people from the richer areas of the country that are trained to do this from early on. But those seem like much more manipulative friendships where like they're forming these bonds together to like take out the weaker people who they see as the weaker people, and then they're eventually going to betray each other, and they just kind of don't think about that until they have to. That is kind of what makes this movie unique in that like they're not forming bonds to manipulate each other. They're not trying to mess with each other for the most part. Like they're genuinely trying to form friendships and they care about each other. And it's like really sweet in a lot of ways, and it makes it really sad when a lot of them die. To I guess spoil the ending of the movie, like only one of them makes it out, and it's Pete. And like the ending honestly had me crying because you really feel his friendship that he formed with Ray. I feel like this is one of the movies where even though they only spent like 3 days together, it's earned when they say they love each other, because like they're forming this bond together in a way that like only they can understand, going through the same thing at the same time. It's such a massive amount of intensity, and just having time to stand with each other and really get to know each other. It's something that I don't think any of us ever have a way of experiencing. It's sort of like what I imagine would be, not that I know, the intensity of like going through a war together, or like even just a single battle where you're surviving for potentially days on end, and eventually like you might lose each other or you might make it out together, but like
Or even just being deployed
yeah, exactly.
together.
Even just that. Like it's like one of those things where 3 days feels like your entire life. And they talk about it pretty explicitly in the movie too, where they're like, you're not supposed to form friendships, but like I like you guys, and it's important that they have these bonds at the end, because then at least they're dying with people they care about, as opposed to just dying and thinking about the way that the system has kind of crushed all of them. This is their way of like taking it back, I guess. But I want to
That
throw it to you
that's
guys too and see what you guys think.
that's one of my notes actually, to answer the question directly. Why characters make friends in a last man standing scenario? I don't think anyone wants to die alone, which is kind of what happens with Barkovich.
Hmm.
Even his last line, "I'm going to be with you, whores forever." Like that's pretty on the
Yeah,
nose.
he's the
So
guy. He messes with that guy who like
yeah,
then like goes at him and then like slides along the pavement in.
that was gnarly.
Yeah, that was crazy. I was
Right.
not expecting that.
Also, I don't know if you. I feel like you said this. They're not fighting each other for the
Hmm.
winner. That's the difference between this and something like Hunger Games. The goal is to walk, not to fight each other to the death.
Hmm.
So I do wonder what would happen if two boys like fully started fighting. I guess they would both just die, which is a pretty stupid way to go out.
Not if they're walking 3 miles an hour. I feel like I feel like if they were moving forward still, they would just let it happen.
That would look
That
so weird.
it
Yeah.
would.
Saying that to say, I think it makes sense. It makes sense they'd become friends in a situation like this, or else they'd end up like Stebbins or Barkovich. So, Evan, do you have?
Yeah, I mean, I'd echo most of the points you guys have. There's a little bit of strategic advantage to it. Like, they help each other get through, like, they basically let each other sleep at a couple points.
Hmm.
So that's, like, the only, like, practical reason, I would say. Otherwise, I agree with, like, yeah, it's trauma bonding. You're, like, with the only people who can relate to what you're going through. And, they're the only people there. I also feel like part of why you would develop a deeper bond is like during your conversations, I think just you'd have some unexplored parts of yourself come out in a situation like this. And I feel like it would come in waves. Like sometimes you would feel kind of okay about it. Sometimes you'd feel like you could win. Sometimes you'd be like, no shot am I winning. And I feel like that would just hit at different levels throughout the whole thing, especially like the longer you're there, the more those kinds of, because I think it's just how brains work. Like I'm not gonna say this properly, but like I think we're not able to stay at like a heightened level of an emotion for especially long. So, like, as afraid as you might be, eventually you're just going to get bored of your own steps after a certain point. I just found myself thinking about that. And I like that this is the route that they took, that it's wholesome, because it's so easy to take a situation like this and be like, yeah, wow, don't people suck? Look at what they'll do in a situation like this. Like, everyone turns on each other. And it was nice to have a wholesome version of this.
Well, as wholesome as it could be.
Yeah, I mean, it's still pretty gnarly because like you were saying about like the ups and downs, like we get some points where like even Ray, who's a great character, like Ray's awesome and I love his friendship with Pete, but even he has a point where like he loses his mind for a second and yells at Pete because in his mind he's like, well, everybody's eventually going to betray me. Like he's got a very cynical outlook on all this just from his motivation for like why, which I think is actually not in the book, if I remember correctly. Like I haven't read it, but I think from what I've heard they changed that for the movie to give him like a more specific goal. Like the stuff with the major didn't happen in the book, so they added like a backstory for him. But I think that adds a lot to his character and to the ending, which was also changed from the book, because I think
Yeah.
he makes it to the end of the book, but in this it's Pete.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk more about the book ending and comparing it
Yeah, for
later.
sure. Yeah, we can wait on that then. But yeah, I agree with you saying like it. We can't stay in that heightened state for very long, and like even when they're happy for a little bit, there's only so long that can go before the reality of their situation hits them randomly, like out of nowhere, and then they start to. But it's interesting because they also never turn on each other. Really, there's a couple of instances where they come close, but even that one guy Stebbins, like he's kind of bonding with them by at the end a little bit too because they're like some of the last ones there, and we learn a lot about him and why he's there, and he becomes like a really interesting character like out of nowhere. One thing I also wanted to talk about too, I like that they juxtapose the way that the major talks about this being an honorable thing with the way that the other characters talk about it, because the major's version of like it being an honorable thing is like doing this for the state and for the country thing to like help economic growth and stuff like that, and that's what he's like pushing. All of them reject that as time goes on, and they find the honor is in just like being together and helping each other, because like you were saying, Evan, like they're helping each other and it kind of seems strategic in that they're letting each other sleep and they're like holding each other up, but like in reality, why would you do that? Because all you're doing is like delaying the inevitable.
All right, so we'll move to natural progression of friendship, which is adjacent to Angel's topic. Most of the beginning of the movie is just guys being dudes. As a dude myself, I vibe with it. I don't know if you guys know, but I am a dude.
We all
It all
dudes.
felt
We're all dudes.
we're all dudes. It all felt pretty natural, and I think it did a good job showing us who everyone is with first impressions. For example, Hank's like environmental thing, Stebbins being standoffish, Barkovich not really gelling with everybody from the beginning. They all kind of look at him weird. Those are the major ones I can think of. Four Musketeers, learning about one another while clowning each other, it also felt natural. Everyone ribbed on everyone, so nobody stayed the butt of the joke. This is more towards the beginning section of the movie, like beginning third. Garrity and McVrees save each other and other people numerous times throughout the film. Garrity's kind of like a jerk when we first meet him because he's just being mean to his mom and then hugs her and whatever. But then, like, me personally, I kind of still wasn't on his side. I was like, are we supposed to like this guy? And then he saves Curly. And he's like, keep walking, can walk it off or whatever. Well, saves is a strong word.
He,
Curly's
he,
still
he
in jail.
tries to save Curly.
Yeah, tries to. I think Garrity and McVrie's friendship had to be the strongest for the end to work. And I think holding off on McVrie's backstory till nearly the end, working in his favor because it's fresh in the viewer's head. So why he's doing this, where he's coming from.
Best scene in the movie, I think. Him
Oh,
giving
where
his
he's
backstory.
yeah, yeah, where he's
Oh,
wondering where the scar came from because
yeah.
he's talking. It's right after he's talking him out of like throwing the race with his mom being there. He's trying to distract him enough, and he's like, "All right, bomb drop." Barkovich coming around before he takes his own life. I'm not gonna say that felt natural, but I think there's a lot you can imply from how he acts leading up to it.
I think it
one,
happens a
you
little
can,
quickly. I think that's the issue. It's not that
yeah,
it's bad necessarily, or like that it doesn't make sense. It's just like it
yeah.
kind of felt like the movie's not long, so they had to like
Say that again. Sorry.
the movie is not a lengthy film, so they kind of had to get rid of characters pretty quickly, which is what that hill scene is for, and like some of
Yeah,
the rain stuff, a couple other things. But like it definitely happens like kind of fast. So, but there's enough build up to it that I think it still works.
yeah. One, the bully persona's a front. Two, it feels like what they were implying is the father or his father is his reason for his messed up psyche or something. Because he mentions his father at one point, and as soon as he does, he starts slapping himself in the head. I'm like, watch out for him.
Mm.
Remaining boys all agreeing to do something nice for Hank's wife is a nice moment as well. Even Stebbins saying, "Go team" was funny.
Even though it's like a fine, I'm here anyway.
Yeah, even Kali coming around in that moment because he had been pretty silent up until that moment,
Mm-hmm.
except when he was telling Barkovich to leave Rank alone, I believe. Art's moment was heartbreaking as well. Don't watch them do it. And even what I like about that moment is even we as the audience don't see it clearly. We know it's happening though,
Yeah,
like they do. So I think that was a great choice.
it keeps us in their perspective, which is really good.
Right.
Like
Without
I think it's essential for
shying away
movie.
from it.
I
Yeah.
think it's essential for movies, especially with this level of intensity, to like we need to see at least close to what the characters see, even if we get a hint at something that they technically wouldn't. Like we get the feeling more if we get like a blurry visual.
We need to be walking with them.
Mm-hmm.
Long walking with them.
I don't even think we get like a shot of like a body that's left behind. Like when they walk by it, we just kind of see it fade into the distance.
Yeah. Although the deaths are kind of brutal, like more brutal than
Oh
I was
yeah.
expecting. Like we see a lot of blood, like a lot of
Yeah,
like they
that's
don't
what
just
threw me
like cut
off.
away off
Mm-hmm.
screen.
Seeing the first kill with Curly made me immediately switch a mindset into, oh,
Yeah.
this is more horror adjacent than a lot of the other ones I've seen. Because if you slow it down, I think you see his teeth fly out
Yeah. I think so.
from the gunshot, which is insane. And that and the one with Rank where his face, we already mentioned his face sliding across the concrete was wow.
Yeah. Which also, is that how it would I feel like that wouldn't
I don't
happen
think
that
so.
way. Like I was watching, I'm like, this is a cartoon now. Like, not that it wasn't terrible, and I was really sad watching it, but I'm like watching it, I'm like, I don't think that like there wasn't any ice. The road wasn't slick from rain. Like
Yeah, he turned into a meat crayon.
he wouldn't have
Yeah.
slid that far, I feel like, unless he was thrown, which he wasn't. So
Well, it was a really hard punch, guys. That's what you got to understand.
he
Like
didn't
Rank, he
even
had some strength behind it.
Falcon punch.
I guess he one
Sorry.
punch man, but he missed.
That's all my notes for that section. I don't know if you guys, I didn't throw it to you guys in the middle because don't interrupt me.
Sorry.
But I don't, I don't know if you guys had any other notes for that.
I mean, I felt like it was pretty believable. Like, I think you wouldn't get into backstories until later. I can see the resistance, but I don't know if you said this or if it was just in your notes, but this reminds me a lot of like days I've been a PA on a set where it's just
I
like,
mentioned that.
Oh yeah.
you know, you don't get this deep with people on like a 1 or 2 day job, but I feel like especially when there's a larger group, it's just like you kind of end up gravitating toward a certain group of people throughout it.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're not like rivalries or mean or anything, but there are like little groups that form. Sometimes it's just based on who's assigned where.
It's a little clicky, but not in like a bad way. It's kind of like going to camp, where like you
Yeah,
just
it
like whoever's
camp
in
is
your
another
group.
thing.
It's
Yeah.
whoever's in your group. You just kind of wind up like getting to know them, regardless of if you get along at like any other point.
Yeah, half the time
You
you
know?
don't even know their name. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was in my notes for the other section. The same thing can be said with background work for films and TV. I usually get Instagrams before we wrap with the people I chat with. And the Roommates movie I did, now on Netflix, not sponsored.
Oh wait, you were
My
in that?
mom, my mom sent me 2 pictures of me being in the background. Both of them, you don't really see my face, which kind of annoyed me because I was on set for 4 days for that.
That's crazy. Oh wait, you told us that because you met Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Okay. I've been seeing friends log that on Letterboxd. I didn't remember that you said you were in it when I saw that.
I'm in the spring break scenes and some of the classroom scenes.
We got to do a watch along, and we should see if we can find Jelani in the movie.
Yeah, good luck. That had a good number of us sticking together. So when I did the spring break scenes, I had like a group I met with the first day and kind of just stuck with, and they kind of grew over the next 2 days. And then I went back the following week for the college scenes, and some of them were also there too. So I was like, "Hey, what's up, y'all?" and hung out with them for my time there. I was saying all that to compare it to the PA stuff Evan was saying. It's like that.
Yeah, I've been in the same boat too. Like just being a PA on set or like an AD or whatever. Like you just get to know people.
If we're done with both of those topics, we can move to Evan's social experiment.
Yeah. So my topic is the elements of a social experiment movie. I was telling Jelani before we started, because we've had a little bit of time between me watching this and us doing this episode, I'm going to make a full video about this topic, and this was just kind of the beginning of my notes. But we've done episodes on several social experiment movies. I think I would call this the fourth one. Circle, The Menu, Would You Rather, and now this. And now that I've seen a few of them, I've realized that there's just some elements that are there in all of them at varying degrees. So I was just going to list them, and the topic can be pretty quick. One is rules and containment. Pretty clear for this one. Keep walking. You have the pace you're supposed to keep, 3 warnings, last man standing wins. Very clear and simple. Themes and social commentary. I would say that's the category that this does the least. We talked a bit about how, like, we see a little bit of the outside world, but not too much of it. There's, like, I would give it a, 3 out of 10. Not necessarily in how well it does, just in, like...
You said for themes?
When I say themes, I don't mean, like, themes in general. I mean, like, social commentary themes. Like, what is this saying about society?
Nope. I'm going to fight you on that.
Okay. Go ahead and do it.
No, not yet.
Okay.
When we get to the last topic.
Pulls on brass knuckles.
Actually, wait. I take it back. The one that this actually does the least is making compelling decisions for the characters. Not necessarily in that no character makes a decision in this movie, but, like, the construction of the experiment, there's no decision making. It's not like Circle or Would You Rather or 12 Angry Men, where it's like, here's this binary decision. Not always binary,
right.
but, like,
well, there's also,
here's a thing that you decide.
It's the nature of the situation they're in too.
Exactly.
Like they're literally walking in a straight line. There's not a lot of ways. Like basically your decisions is like you can keep walking, you can stop, and kind of in the middle you can help each other keep moving. That's pretty much all that you can do. The only decision they don't make is like deliberately getting each other killed. Because even that one time where Barkovich does it, initially I thought he was doing like a strategy thing, but it turned out he was that's just his personality, and he doesn't know how to interact with other people in a like a socially responsible way. He felt terrible about it after. He got defensive, but he felt terrible about it after, like what he did. But you're right, the scope is very small of what they can do.
When I say that there's no decisions, it's not to say that the characters are robbed of agency. It's just comparing to, like, the other versions of this type of movie. Some of them focus very much on, like, what choice. Like, 12 Angry Men, you have the votes that everyone casts. Circle, same thing. They vote on who dies. Would You Rather, it's always one thing or the other, binary decision. And there's none of that really here. And then the last category is characterization, which this does a ton of.
Yeah.
So that was kind of what locked me into this topic, was like, none of those other movies do nearly as much to characterize. Circle deliberately doesn't characterize anyone. They're reduced to stereotypes in that very... I don't know if it does it effectively, but it's very purposeful. It's very intentional.
That quick vote for the black guy scene.
I was rereading some quotes from Circle to prepare for the video, and I was like, wow, I forgot just how cringe some of this dialogue is.
I haven't seen this film, and now I'm scared to.
It's interesting, but there's some... Well, we're going to vote for the old people. All right, yep, vote for the old people. It's still kind of funny to me.
You gotta watch it.
Okay.
It is interesting. It was not one of my more favorite movies to watch for this show, but it was a very interesting one to discuss on the show.
Hmm. Okay, that's good to know. That's interesting.
And someday we'll do 12 Angry Men.
Ooh, I'd like that. Yeah.
That was my notes. I basically just wanted to name those categories. What is your pushback on the like social commentary? Because I can see there being some more of that than maybe I initially thought.
Yeah, that's why I had to watch. So shout out to Lucas Blue on YouTube. He helped me understand the movie more. I knew it had deeper meanings to it, but I needed help deciphering what they were. His video was like 15 minutes, I think, max. It had three parts to it, and it was about a couple of themes. I'm only going to mention two here, one of which is systemic oppression. So there's parallels to the Vietnam War, asking young boys to sacrifice themselves for honor. There is a quote from his comment section that I screenshotted because I wanted to read it word for word. Shout out to Jess Burns G5V on YouTube. I found Kali's character the most fascinating. I took him as a microcosm of the native spirit. Kali was the one of the remaining five. You remember the Native American? I think
With
he
the
was
really long hair.
Ah, yes. Okay.
I think he was
I know, I know who
Algonquin.
you're talking about.
Yeah, Algonquin, I think.
Yeah, I liked him a lot.
Yeah.
He didn't talk much, but he had like an interesting air about him. And like the few times he did, I feel like he was standing up. Was it Stebbins or was it
No, he was standing up for rank against Barkovich.
Right. Yes. No. That I okay. I do remember that. Then that was really good. Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like he's a good actor. I think I've seen him in other stuff.
So, quote, I found Kali's character the most fascinating. I took him as a microcosm of the native spirit. He doesn't show fatigue like the other characters, suggesting that, like McVree's black character, he's used to it, doggedly moving forward despite the pain. Notably, though, he flares up with anger throughout the film, but unlike Garrity, it's never hinted at that it has a personal origin. He's rightfully angry at the state, their cruelty. He dies in an act of rebellion. He had no chance of winning, but chose to go out with honor fighting. He chants in Algonquin as he dies, evoking freedom, self expression, and humanity. He doesn't even give the state the pleasure of watching him die slowly, which is why they gut shot him. He kills himself all the while staring into the eyes of his oppressors. Even in death, he refuses to bow to them. End quote. So, shout out to Jess. That's hard. Another theme within the systemic oppression topic is the no real choice. It's straight up discussed in the film towards the beginning when Garrity talks about the escape hatch. If you're suffering all your life and you're told only this one escape hatch is your way out, who's not going to take it? So it's not really a choice with these boys signing up. Some viewers glossed over it. There was I'm not going to mention the channel name, but I started watching somebody break down how they would survive it. And it's like, oh, it didn't even seem like this person watched the movie. So I couldn't finish it. And the long walk itself, like the event, representing everlasting struggle with no end in sight. The other topic Lucas Blue mentioned was Cycle of Despair. So this is where I'm going to mention the book ending. The book ending had Garrity winning. And he ends up continuing to walk even after he wins, chasing a shadowy figure that some interpret as hope and others interpret as vengeance, and others interpret as some other themes.
I feel like some people interpret it as death, like
that
he's
too. That's
like
another one.
he's losing it to the point where like now he's like walking into the afterlife. Basically, like he does die at the end after everybody else does. Like he still wins, but he dies too.
Mm. And one of the biggest, like, oh snap, I didn't realize until somebody told me, beats, and this is one I'm gonna end it with. Garrity and McVrees end up believing in each other's wishes. Garrity stops because he believes in McVrees' hope for the world, but McVrees carries out the vengeance on the Major. And I think that is hot. That's what's
Yeah.
up. That's
I,
some sexy writing.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's the saddest part of the ending too. Like I think the
Mm-hmm.
part that drove it home for me was the fact that like Pete's such a hopeful character and the state in this went so far and broke them all so much that it made him as vengeful as Garrity was at the beginning. Like he gave all of his hope to Garrity Garrity took it and he died as peacefully as he possibly could in the situation. And now Pete has to walk away knowing that all of that might be gone for him forever, and it's tragic. It almost made me cry. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. And with Pete being the one that walks off and everybody disappearing, like it makes me think, I interpret it as he got shot immediately too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hadn't thought of that.
I've been thinking about if he did.
I think so.
If you could read it like literally that he gets shot, I also feel like what's coming to mind is that it's kind of a spiritual death. That like he survives, but you know
he's hollow.
Yeah,
he wants to keep walking. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. And also too, like it's interesting to think about the idea that like if they didn't shoot him, because imagine like it's kind of like the same thing as the Hunger Games also, where it's like they can't kill them at the end because of what they're supposed to symbolize. There's the possibility the same thing happens with Pete, where they can't kill him and now their boss is gone, they don't know what to do. I've heard that interpretation a lot, where like
Pete becomes the new Major. No,
I
would
sure
hate
hope
that.
not. That would be terrible. No.
I think it's okay to leave it ambiguous because I feel like one thing I was kind of waiting for, and I suppose they hint at this a bit. Garrity has this goal of killing the Major, and part of me was like, okay, maybe they're going to show it as like if you kill the Major, society is fixed. I think it's more powerful, and I don't know if the movie agrees with me or not, but I feel like you kill the Major, somebody's there, chain of command, they can take over. Nothing
That's what
really
I thought.
changes.
Yeah.
No, I think if anything, it could potentially get worse. Like if they want this to be realistic, I think that killing a figurehead doesn't always do anything.
He gets replaced by Jack Nicholson.
He does get replaced by Jack Nicholson. And then
I think there's other dystopian stories where that happens in some capacity. This is a bit of a dumb movie. I think it's fun, but Equilibrium does this, I think, where they're like, oh yeah, that figurehead guy, he died like 20 years ago. I've been here the whole time as the actual figurehead. I think it's probably the same thing here. Maybe this world hasn't been there for very long, but like he's got contingencies. If he's going out there.
No, that's Batman. That's his nemesis. Not.
Oh, well, yeah.
Sorry, a couple layers to that.
Well, the Major's had a lot of prep time, so, and he has no qualms about using guns. So,
not at all.
You know, let's see what Batman can do.
I think imagine
in the flashback he's holding the gun up and he's like, "Make your choice, Mr. Garrity," and then the gun goes bang and it has. Sorry.
And then it does a.
I think it's amazing that you could tell the entire time he legitimately did not think he was gonna die. Like he had no
Ray?
The Major. He had no clue that he was gonna die.
Yeah.
Like honestly, he really thought that he could talk his way out of this, and then he got shot.
Yeah.
To him, I think that was the most, and you can tell like that's him throughout the entire film. Just the hubris of him, like he's letting them insult him because he thinks he's untouchable.
Yeah. Anyways, I wanted to bring all of that again. Shout out to Lucas Blue on YouTube. Your video essay on the topics really helped me understand it, and I'm sure it opened these guys' eyes too. Your brains are now a little bigger.
Yeah.
Superknowledge.
One more point before we wrap, because I'm through all of my notes. I wonder if Garrity would have kept walking if he saw his mom in the crowd at the end.
I don't know. I actually did want to talk about that a little bit. I think that one of the stronger scenes for me was also when he sees his mom and he runs up to her like, "I'm so sorry." Like the moment he's realizing that he's doing exactly what his dad did, like I think there's a part of him that is very like disappointed and probably resentful that his dad didn't abandon them necessarily, but like his principles got him killed. And
Pete points that out.
Yeah, and
he's like, "Your dad abandoned me."
Yeah, your dad left you and like refused to. And I think that didn't fully click for him until he realized that he was doing the exact same thing, that Ray was doing the exact same thing, and the tragedy of like he just wants to sit there and be with his mom, but that's exactly what's going to get him killed in this moment because he already made the decision and it's already over. The way that he was thinking about it, I don't know that he was thinking in a much wider scale. Like his viewpoint before that was very limited in that like all he wanted was the revenge part. He wanted to get his hands on the carbine so that he could kill the major. Now his scope is so much wider, like Pete's was, this big hopeful like feeling of like wanting to make a better world. I don't know that him seeing his mom would have necessarily broken that. I think he was already too far into it. Almost like Pete's point of view, like we said, had gotten transferred to Ray. So I think at that point, and at that point too, he's confused, he's tired, he's cold, like he's barely slept. He probably has to go to the bathroom.
He was walking for miles without. I think that's glossed a little too glossed over. He was walking for miles on concrete without shoes.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was. Which is crazy because I think it was during the day that he lost his shoes, and then the movie ends at night.
Yeah.
Like
his feet must have been raw at that point.
I mean, it was also raining, so his socks were wet, and a lot of people, including me, don't like that feeling. So
no, it's the worst.
I probably would have just sat
because they will never get dry. Too. There is no worse hell than wet socks. It is terrible.
Fellas, dudes, that's it for me. I don't know if you guys had more. I think this was a short but powerful episode in my opinion.
Short. Wait, is The Long Walk our shortest episode? That's insane.
I think it's the shortest one in a minute. I had one other note, not really on anything we were talking about, but just Pete's thing about, like, he talks about it in the scene after they see Garrity's mom. Being optimistic and hopeful is hard.
Oh, yeah.
Is great.
It's a
like,
yeah.
And I think it's something that a movie like this can do, where we hear his, especially when you pair it with his backstory, like, I just kind of love that, because I feel like optimism is always portrayed as this like
easy thing to achieve
or naive, a combination of the two. Having a character who's been through hardship and acknowledging like hope is difficult, it takes work, it's not a set state. I really liked that, so just wanted to shout that out before the end.
Yeah, that's a good show.
I do want to talk really, really quick about that too, also with his backstory. Like I agree with you, Evan, that it's like to see that character going through that level of transformation from like just sort of like a writing perspective. I think it's also really hard to have a character go through that whole arc off screen and not have it feel like kind of cheap that we didn't see any of that, especially. And I think the way that they accomplish that here is by at the end, obviously he kind of he's the one taking center stage because Ray dies. We're watching him reveal his transformation, and then we're watching him transform Ray, and then kind of having to be the one to deal with the consequences of the world after that. So I think that's why it's so much stronger, and I just really like that. So it's weird because he doesn't exactly have like a flat character arc, because in a way like he kind of becomes like Ray, but in that way he also kind of gives Ray this hope before the end. There's a lot more that we could like dissect here, but I think I need more time to like really, really, really get into it and think about it.
I think this is going to grow on rewatches for me, which is always a good sign. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be one that improves. There's going to be more to unpack.
Yeah. I want to read the book now, once I learn how to read.
Miraculous that you got the job that you have. It's actually pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Doesn't speak right to our education system, but good for you individually.
I say at my job all the time, guys. I work at a photo company. I don't read. I just look at pictures.
Well, pictures are worth 1,000 words, as they say.
Well, I wouldn't know because I don't know words, Evan, because I can't read. Okay. Thank you for pointing that out.
That's why you never put up notes on the Google Drive. Now we know.
That's true.
It all makes sense now.
It does. Go do your stretches.
Our upcoming episodes, not necessarily in this order. We're going to do Daredevil Born Again Season 2.
I think the finale's tonight, right?
It is tonight. I'm going to try to watch it right after this.
I'm going to have to catch up then. I haven't started. We'll also be doing The Boys Season 5, which I am caught up on at the moment.
I'm heading that.
See, I am not caught up on that. I've seen one episode. I had to catch up. I wanted to catch up on Gen V first, so I finished Gen V.
I will refrain from saying anything about where The Boys is at right now then. We have our YouTube channel with video essays. I just put up a review of The Devil Wears Prada 2. I'm probably going to be making a video about that soon.
I mean, it's one of our better videos, right? Like better performing still.
It's far and away the best performing thing I have ever made for anything.
Mm.
That's insane.
Yeah,
That's cool.
somehow that happened. So I don't
I
know
like
if
that a lot,
YouTube
actually.
will.
Because I really like the Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah.
Oh, add one right now. Mortal Kombat 2.
I was wondering
Oh,
if you were
yeah.
going to make us do
I'm
that.
going to see it Saturday afternoon. So
I'd be down for that.
Get your
I have hope.
tickets.
I have hope for this one. I think that the
We-
first one had a lot of issues, but I think this one is going to be good.
Oh yeah, I think they got rid of Arcana completely, which they shouldn't have had it to begin with.
Yeah, so we just have our social medias. We're on Instagram, Blue Sky, and TikTok at INT Analysis Pod. I'm on Instagram, Blue Sky, and Letterboxd at ev_Wes. And where are you guys?
Instagram, Jelani T. Kelly. Letterbox still coming soon. I promise, guys. I keep forgetting. I have
You
the
keep
tab
promising.
open. I have
The
the tab
boy
open.
who
I just
cried
haven't.
wolf.
Oh,
What do you mean you have the
no.
tab open? What does that
I have
mean?
the tab open to like start the account. I haven't.
Tabs
looked at
mean
it.
nothing.
Just start the account.
No.
You don't even have to touch it yet. Just start the account. I'm gonna make you do it. The
Do
next
it
time we
while
hang out.
Angel's listing his socials.
No.
Okay.
You can hire me.
I only have
as-
2. There's not enough time.
You can hire me as an actor for your films. I'm getting a lot of callbacks recently. Also, be on the lookout for a movie I just attended a premiere for, F Boys. I don't know when it's coming out officially, though. I think they want to take it to some festivals by next year. Yeah, I've been getting a lot of callbacks too. So you boys out here, I'm doing something.
Oh yeah, I have social media too. What am I on? Oh, I'm on Instagram at angelmichelle.film, and I'm on Letterboxd at Serenity Cinema. And I have no friend on Letterboxd named Jelani T. Kelly, because Jelani T. Kelly still hasn't made a Letterboxd. And I think Hollywood, if he's going out for roles, you shouldn't hire him until he has a Letterboxd.
Yeah, if he's ever on the red carpet and they're like top 4, he'll be like, no,
I've never
I don't.
seen a
I
film.
can't. But
I've only watched The Long Walk.
I don't know how to
2.5
see.
times.
I don't know how to see.
No, you gotta wait.
the only movies you ever watch are for this podcast. That's the only evidence that you do it.
That's
It's the
true.
only place that they've been logged.
Darn.
Big darn.
Okay, bye guys.
All right.
Bye.
Make sure you stretch.
Yes, do stretches, please.
Dude, go for a walk right now.